What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Film Session. So, in Indiana's win against Purdue on Tuesday night, Conor Enright had 7 first-half assists, which was a big reason why Indiana was up 11 at half and had scored 40 points. So, let's dive in here and see how he was able to set up his teammates so much. Okay, so instead of looking at these sequentially, we're going to bucket these into different categories. So, the first ones are going to be paint touches, and I think for Indiana's offense, these have been essential of late. If Indiana can get into the teeth of the defense, can get in the paint, they can spray it out, they can score at the rim, move the defense, and it's been good for this offense. So as this one starts here, we're going to see a Bailey start to set a screen for Enright out here. And he has Kaufman run on him, actually, right? And we have Braden Smith and Tucker DeVries here. And Purdue was doing this a bit. Maybe it's kind of like a bit of a pre-switching they were doing, that if DeVries set the screen, it was actually Braden Smith who could then just switch right on to Enright. But what's ended up happening here as a result is with Bailey setting the screen, we now have Clough that is switching on to Enright here, right? So we got a pretty sizable mismatch here, and Indiana really kind of went at Clough in this game. Not the most fleet of foot, and Indiana really exposed him on a couple times here. So we let this run. Nothing doing to start for this. So eventually he passes the ball, sets a screen for Wilkerson. Little flare screen here. Wilkerson doesn't get a shot up, but as he gets it back to Enright, now we got Clough out here again, and this is where things start to turn in Indiana's favor. So he sizes him up, and we got Bailey clearing out for him. Drives left, and then Enright tosses it up. And on this one, you can tell that Conor Enright did get a little bit of a hand on this. It's kind of a weird score. They did attribute it to Bailey, and it goes in. Kind of a weird one here. However, we got Enright breaking down the defense, getting in the lane, attracting more defense, and then tossing it up to a big for a bucket. Next one, we got a little bit of a staggered setup here. So we got Wilkerson, the first line of the ball screen, and then here comes Bailey for a second one. Wilkerson ghosts out of this, and then Bailey, as Bailey sets this, we have Smith going over the top. And then here's Clough again here in the back. Now, as this runs, Enright is far enough ahead of Smith where Clough has to kind of make a decision to try to stop the ball. So there's this little sliver of space to make the pocket pass to Reed Bailey. He does that, and Bailey gets by him and scores. Not really something we've seen much from Indiana this year, where they have a rolling big, like in the paint scoring. Obviously, there's been some side pick and rolls that have worked of late with Sam Alexis. So even though this is a pretty basic basketball play, Indiana hasn't quite had the right personnel for it this season. But I think against Clough, it was able to work here. And again, Enright getting pretty much into the paint, finding a teammate in the paint, another bucket. All right, next one, not a paint touch, but this is a very similar setup again to the last one we just showed. Staggered screens, staggered ball screens. Miles on the back, Reed Bailey up front, Enright coming this way. But let's see what other action Indiana can get out of this for a bucket. So we run this, and Enright takes the screen from Bailey. Miles pops out of this way. Similar to before, kind of actually doesn't set the screen, just moves. And as this comes, Enright doesn't really get downhill this time. He kind of just stops short, looking for Wilkerson a little bit on the cut. But what ends up happening then back on the weak side is we got a double pin down. We got now Miles coming over, setting that pin down. We got Reed Bailey setting that pin down. And we got Tucker DeVries, the rejuvenated Tucker DeVries, coming out here to the perimeter. And we got Benter, who's starting to trail, and he's about to get hit with these picks. Boom. Miles hits him. Bailey gets him. So on the catch, we got DeVries with space. Nice find by Enright. Sticks it. Okay, next one. The broadcast did not quite catch this, but we got Wilkerson has just inbounded it to Enright here. And again, we're seeing a little screen from DeVries sort of here. We'll watch this as evolves. That Enright kind of just sticks here, but what ends up happening is we got DeVries breaking out of this now, and we got Sam Alexis coming to meet him to set a flare screen for him. So he sets that on Kaufman-Renn. Here's the screen. And now we got Clough hanging back because that was Sam Alexis's man. And all of a sudden, we got Clough, who's really with the screen. Maybe he's got to come up here to meet the ball. We got Indiana exploiting him a little bit again with Tucker DeVries getting the ball, top of the key. And decent closeout from Clough. He's trying here, but DeVries had a nice shooting first half. From deep, 3 of 6. Boom, nails this. Great find from Enright. All right, another out of bounds plays. This time we go baseline out of bounds. So we got Clough on the ball. Okay. So Wilkerson is able to get it up and over to DeVries barely. As this evolved, DeVries passes it back out to Enright. And we got Clough and Wilkerson here. And Wilkerson just kind of hangs. He came a little bit under the basket, but he's going to pop out hard now and get some space. And Clough's like, can we switch? Uh-oh. Hey, can we switch? Can we switch this? Can you get out there? And he does, but he's so anticipating the corner three from Wilkerson. Jumps in the air. Barely, a little bit of a shot fake here. Not even really one. He just moves over, readjusts, nails this thing. So again, Indiana exploiting Clough a bit. Enright finding that advantage, hitting Wilkerson. Wilkerson hits the three. All right, next one is going to come off Indiana's defense. I think in the first half, they did a great job of getting some steals, being physical, ball hawking. So we'll see that here. Jacobson gets the ball, and DeVries immediately is there on the double team here, or just at least kind of like stunts in. As Kaufman-Renn controls or patrols the perimeter. Comes in, swipes the ball away, gets it, heads up the court. Now he's going to pass to Wilkerson, and he's going to miss this transition three. But what happens from here is on the offense or the rebounding opportunity is Lawyer falls down trying to get it here. And so Bailey gets the rebound. He passes out to Enright, and Lawyer now, instead of kind of finding Josiah Miles, because we got a Boilermaker going here, we got a Boilermaker going here, he starts coming this way. And we can see Enright looks this way first. Okay, I got Lamar Wilkerson. This is a great three-point shooter. He's open, right? But he stops short and realizes that Miles actually is going to be the more open player now. So he makes that pass. Miles knocks this down. You know, his percentage hasn't been this great this year, but he came in and gave some pretty good minutes, and this is a really big shot. Enright finds the more open player, and that player knocks it down. All right, next one and our last one here is another second chance opportunity that Enright was good in. So you can see there's 11 seconds left on the shot clock. Indiana hasn't got anything going in this possession, and DeVries starts calling out to Wilkerson like, hey, let's run our stuff here. Let's run it. Let's go. So Wilkerson sets the screen for DeVries, and he comes around to get this ball from Alexis. Gets it up. You know, Purdue defends this well with 7 seconds left. Okay, we got to get something running. He calls for it, gets the ball, misses. And let me run this back a little bit because we can see as he shoots the ball, Enright is all the way out here. Okay, he's on the perimeter. Braden Smith's in here. But off this miss, tips off of Alexis. Enright gets it, and he's got Dorn behind him, okay? And immediately after he gets this offensive rebound, he turns right around and whips it to him. He knew he was there. He knew that there was a three-point opportunity for a guy in his team that has just been money from three over the last couple games. Makes the pass. Dorn steps back. Bucket. All right, so that's all for this one. I think the main takeaway here is it wasn't just one way that Enright was getting these assists, whether it was paint touches, whether it was second chance opportunities, whether it was just finding his three-point shooting teammates off of flare screens and stuff on the perimeter. It was a really balanced way that he found his teammates and was really huge in this victory. Played all 40 minutes as well. Guarded Braden Smith the whole dang game. So it was a really great performance from Enright on both sides of the ball. Just showed his assists here, though, for today's film session. So that's all for this one. We will catch you in the next one.